We often glorify writers in a way that makes them seem like these solo acts that go off by themselves, create these beautiful stories, and then bring them out into the world. And we just wonder, how do they do it? Well, I'm pulling back the curtain today and want to talk about the power of a writing community, because every good writer has a good writing community. I'm so excited you're here today. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Written Compass. I'm so excited you're here. Just want to give a shout out as we are moving and trucking through the year. Just so grateful for this community and all the different ways that it is allowing me through the podcast to connect with amazing folks just like you. So make sure as you're listening, you leave me a review, you share it with someone who needs it, you subscribe to the podcast so you make sure you do not miss an episode. And today I want to talk about the power of a writing community. This isn't something new. I've talked about this many, many times. And, that's the thing about writing and writers is often the things that we are so passionate about, we keep talking about them over and over and over again. And that is okay. I just want to affirm that if you feel like you say the same things over and over again, you're kind of sharing the same wisdom over and over again, that's probably a good indication, by the way, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that you are ready to put those ideas down in a book. And the one thing that I think is most important is that you find a community that is going to support you on that writing journey, whatever your intentions are for your words. Because here's the deal, writing is often viewed as a solo act, which makes sense. It makes sense that we think, oh, this is just something we do on our own by ourselves, because ultimately, who's the one that puts the words on the page, whether with a pen or pencil or with fingers on a keys? It's ultimately you, right? You're the one that gets the words down. However, what we may not realize is that all of our writing, all of it, every single word we come up with, it's a socially constructed message, idea, concept. We're influenced by others. We learn language because of being in community with others. And so it makes sense that even as we're sharing our own ideas, they are connected and influenced by others. So how do we make the most of this influence? And I truly believe it is by having a powerful writing community. So I want to break down the importance of this and how and why it's going to be essential for you to go from idea to publish. You need to have that powerful writing community. So probably the number one thing that I see in our community, our embodied writing community, that all of our clients, however they're working with us, get to be a part of, is inspiration and motivation. When we write in a community with others, we naturally you're vibing off of each other, right? You're feeling the energy of others. And even when I show up thinking, good gosh, I have nothing to write, I have no smart ideas, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do it, I will inevitably feel inspiration by simply seeing someone else, if this is one of our writing days that we have in our community, seeing someone else's smile, right, when they show up, or hearing their words and feeling inspired by them. In our Writing is Healing Facebook community, the comments, the shares that we hear from others really get me going and motivate me to go, yeah, I want to write it too. And here's what I'm thinking. And it just is like a snowball effect. We get excited to write when we find that inspiration and motivation in community of others. And when we get excited, our ideas are going to flow. It's easier for the words to come out. It's just making the process more palatable, more enjoyable, and more motivating. So that is probably the number one thing that I see happening. The other thing that I see, number two, is accountability. And with any kind of goal, you need to have some loving accountability. And I call it loving because the older I get, the more I am less of the hustle, grind, come on, push it. Yeah, there's times and moments where, we need to turn our hat backwards, roll up our sleeves and kind of lean in and grind in and put our shoulder into it, as me and my good friends say. And there's other times where we just need that loving accountability, right? And I try to lean towards that a little bit more than the hustle and grindy these days. And so when I know someone is waiting for me to show up to a writing day, or they're waiting to give some feedback on my next draft with my writing coaches and editors, that's what I feel. And they're kind of lovingly nudging me along, I'm more likely to show up, right? And guess what? When I show up, my words show up, right? Even if it's just a few words, it doesn't matter how much is showing up. It's just the fact that we do something, we do it often. It creates that nice accountability. It gives us a bit of a rhythm. It doesn't always have to be perfect or consistent. Again, we're showing up, we're doing something, we're doing it often. And the writing community can allow you to have that loving accountability because you're like, well, if they're going to show up, right? It's like your gym partner. If you said you're going to be there at this time and you don't show up and they do, whoo, right? So same thing happens with your writing community. That loving accountability is there. The third thing that I find is so powerful about a writing community is affirmation. When we are off on our own and putting words down, I've been experiencing this as I'm putting the final touches on my upcoming book, Writing is Not That Hard. I notice how I can lose sight of the big picture and just think everything I'm writing is terrible, right? And when I bring it to my writing community, when I bring it to someone else, it's amazing when they go, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. They read a line or read a paragraph and they go, I can't believe it. Oh, I'm so excited for this book. When's the next draft? What's happening next? What's the next chapter about? And you just go, what? Me? You just read my words and had that experience? Because when we're off on our own, we aren't sure how our words are landing. We literally have nothing to bounce it off of. But when we start to share it with others in that writing community, we get that beautiful affirmation. Here's what's working. Here's what I want to know next, or here's what maybe is missing that I'd love to hear more about. And it gives us direction. It gives us that next nudge we need to keep going, to keep drafting, to keep revising, to finally get the words down and finally put them out there. Because when you are in community with others, you get that affirmation that you need to keep going. And that is unbelievably powerful. The fourth thing that I see happening in the writing communities that I am a part of and that we offer our clients is they are amazing gremlin killers. And this kind of all connects through each of the three: the inspiration, the motivation, the accountability, the affirmation. But this gremlin killer aspect that I notice is when you write, it is such a personal act. It is something you're taking the inside and putting it on the outside. Even if you're writing fiction, there is something so deeply personal about the process that it is inevitable. I want you to hear me say that over and over again. It is inevitable. It is normal. I want to normalize the gremlins, the naysayer voices, the negative talk that shows up where we think, who am I? No one's going to read this. This is dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm doing this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Send me a message on all the voices that you hear when you sit down to write. And those negative voices can get really, really loud when we are in isolation, right? And so a writing community helps you realize the value of your words, helps you turn to those voices and go, yeah, no, that is not accurate. That is not true. Here is at least one person who is reading my words and going, thank you so much for saying this. I have been processing something similar or thinking something similar or had a similar experience. And I just want you to know that to read this is so affirming for me and gives me permission. It tells me I'm not alone. And those are the best gremlin killers, being in that community. So the power of a writing community cannot be emphasized enough. I cannot encourage you enough to find one if you're not in one, regardless of whether you are trying to share your words with the world or just develop your practice of writing to write, writing as a tool for healing, writing as a part of your personal growth journey. Wherever you are, I highly encourage you to be in community with other people because, just as I've shared, it's inspiring, it's motivating, it's going to keep you going, keep you showing up, keep you in alignment with your goals and your intentions for your words. It's going to keep you accountable. So if your goal is to develop a stronger writing practice, you're going to have more accountability for that. If your goal is to eventually publish one day, get your words out in a journal, a book, a guide, whatever it may be, it's going to keep you in line for that. It's going to give you the affirmation that you need, the yes, and keep going. We want to hear more. That was amazing. I can't believe you wrote that. You just thought of that. You're going to feel that over and over and over. And that is that little dopamine hit that you need to keep going. And then finally, in conjunction with all of those, it's going to help you kill your gremlins. It's going to help you realize they are not driving the bus. Yes, they're going to show up. It's part of the journey, the fear, the questioning, the doubting, all of that stuff. But when you're in community with others, then you've got those people that are like, no, that is not true at all. Let me tell you how amazing you are, how powerful your words are, how I look forward to hearing what you've written since last time we met, right? So I'm curious, what of these, if you're in a writing community, which of these do you feel like is most valuable for you? If you are not in a writing community, then how are you going to take a step to get into one? And of course, we want to support you in any way possible. So we are opening up our calendar right now, my team and I. We want to talk to you and support you in either finding a writing community or making some decisions on how you could use all the amazing writing you've already done or the amazing ideas you have and think you want to potentially turn into a book. We are ready to talk to you. So head to shanahartman.com/schedule. That's SHANAHARTMAN.com/schedule to get on our schedule, talk to our team, and see what your next best writing steps are. I hope to see you soon in the community, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Written Compass. If you are enjoying this content, do me a favor and go and review the podcast. This allows me to share and get these messages out to the people who really need them, who we want to read their books in the future. You can also go and share your thoughts and tag me at ShanaHartman_ on Instagram. Again, this is just a way for us to get connected and share the writing love. And if you know that you are ready to write your book, that message that's been burning inside of you for a long time, then I want to talk to you. My team and I want to talk to you. Head on over to shanahartman.com and click Work with Us. From there, you'll see an application to explore and see if writing your book is your next best step.